And then I texted her and some guy answered. Oh, he texted me back. He said, "What do you want?" Yeah, exactly. That's what I said too.
Okay, but
said, "Who is it?"
clearly something happened before that, or you wouldn't be there with flowers and candy, and trying to figure out who else she's there with. So had you guys broken up, or?
This is the plaintiff, John Storts. He says he loaned the defendant money to help with her divorce, and the woman used him. That's right, she feigned romantic interest in him, got his money, and now won't pay him back. He's suing his sweetheart swindler for $5,175, the amount she got out of him. This is the defendant, Barbara Carol Powless. She says she made it clear she and the plaintiff were just friends. But when he got all sexual on her, she told him they needed to part ways, so she cut him off. As far as the money goes, he offered to help her out. She accepted a gift. That's that. She's accused of being a gold digger.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Storts, you are suing Ms. Powless, who, according to you, used to date for $5,175 because you loaned her some money and she has not repaid you, correct?
Correct.
All right, tell me how you two met.
In it was about April of 2019. I met her husband, and I'd go to their house off and on together, and that's when I seen Carol there at the house. I would just say hi to her, and then that's how we met there.
And then do you strike up a friendship with the defendant?
No, not then, no. We just said hi, and that was about it. Not a big deal. And then January 2020, right in there, I was at the casino, and Carol was there. Because I go there and watch the dance, she come up and asked me to dance. And she was with the group, so we went back to the group, we danced. And then probably a couple of weeks later, we talked on the phone, a week or two later, whatever it was. Then from there, we just started going out.
Okay, and how long did you go out?
We've been going out, it was till probably July, from probably January, February till July.
And what happened in July?
In July, I was going to go over there. She had just gotten back from a weekend trip or something like that. Wherever she went, I don't know. And I was going to go to her house because I'd got her a flower and some candy, and went past there a couple of times. Didn't see anything because sometimes her son will take the car. And I don't remember whether the car was there or not, but I went past there. And then I texted her and some guy answered. Oh, he texted me back. He said, "What do you want?" Yeah, exactly. That's what I said too.
Okay, but clearly something happened before that, or you wouldn't be there with flowers and candy, and trying to figure out who else she's there with. So had you guys broken up, or?
Well, the week previous, we had went to dinner and we had ate, and I said, "Is there anything that you don't like about me?" Because we had a group called the Six Pack. I was coming a little bit late on Friday and Saturday to those events. We'd go to each other's house, play cards, and listen to music and dance, and that was about it. And from what I understand, she didn't like me coming there late. And we had dinner that previous week, like I said, and I asked if there anything else you don't like about me. She said, "No, that's it." And that was the last I seen of her, was that day right there. That was it. That was the last day. Then she went away for the weekend.
At some point during the time that you dated, she ended up telling you that she needs some money for a divorce?
Yeah, in April, she had said that she needs some money to continue her divorce. That's what the attorney told her. And Carol said she needs to get some subpoenas out. And she asked if she could borrow some money. I said yes.
How much money did you loan her?
$5,175 with the 3.5%. The vendor charged the attorney 3.5%.
Okay. All right. So the vendor charged the attorney. So the amount that you loaned her was $5,175. Is that correct?
Yes, on my credit card. And I told her many a times I pay it off every month. I need this as soon as possible. So That's what happened.
And what did she tell you? If she didn't have the money for the lawyer, how was she going to have the money for you in 30 days? What did she say?
Right.
How was she planning on getting it?
She gave me her pension papers and said she would cash that in. And I got her the papers. She got the papers. She said she sent them in to get her money out. And that was the last I heard of that.
Okay. And that all happened in what month?
She said she received the papers, I think it was in June. And then in July, she said she sent them in.
And then when did she dump you?
I would say July.
Okay. Ms. Paulus, what's going on?
Some of that's true. John was working with my soon-to-be ex-husband. Seen him in the house, no big deal. And my ex-husband, soon-to-be, told me he has no friends, he's a loner. His big excitement is sitting in the parking lot at Myers or Walmart listening to the radio. So I had seen him at the casino, said, hey, do you want to come sit with us? That was it. There was no relationship. Of course, then COVID hit, and I created what we call Patrick's Pub in my basement. The friends and I came over, we played cards, played pool, things like that. John offered the money. I never asked him for any money because I had no way to pay it back. And as far as my retirement, I had asked him previous to that, back in March and April, to look into it on the tax part. I cannot cash anything in or do anything with that because I'm in the middle of a divorce. He knows that. He knows I can't turn that in. I can't take anything from it. And I told him I have no way to pay back. At one point, he even talked about buying my house because I was in a spaz about the house payment, where am I going to live, what's going on? And he was like, well, maybe I can, find a way to buy it. And I said, well, then I could buy it back after this is over. And he actually said, I will give it to you. And of course, that was, I didn't pay any attention to that. But there's no relationship. And in July 4th, I had a party.
He was clearly smitten with you, and he thinks he did have a relationship. It's usually pretty easy to tell. Were you guys romantic, or weren't you?
No.
We kissed.
Did you
and
kiss?
I got a cup here to show you, too, she got me. Love is brewing.
Love is brewing. Can I just ask you a question, though? People don't go around dropping $5,000 gifts on each other, usually. If it was $50, $100, I can understand that. That is a whole lot of money for someone to drop on you. Are you telling me that he was just trying to buy your love so hard that he gave you $5,000 for your divorce?
I think he was trying to buy something else.
Okay.
More than just attention. And I'm not that way, and nor had no interest in a sexual relationship with him, even though he had.
Mr. Storch, do you have even though what? Go ahead. I'm sorry I cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, I have emails asking what kind of underwear I wear, and he was horny, different things like that. But
would you guys text as well?
Yes.
Sometimes, yeah. July 4th, I had a party that he came to that he wasn't invited, and he was asked to leave.
Wait, in April, you're taking $5,000 from him as a gift. You would think that he would be your favorite person. So when did you decide you didn't want him around anymore? I presume it's after the $5,000, but.
When it got to be weird.
When did it get to be weird, and how?
Of what kind of underwear do you wear? And again, like I said, I felt he was trying to buy something else, but never did I ask him for money. And as he knows, I have no way to pay it back.
How do I know that you didn't tell him about your retirement, assume you were going to cash your retirement, and then your lawyer told you, what are you, nuts if you do? I don't see why there's a difference. If you're married, that your retirement, either your spouse has a right to it or your spouse doesn't have a right to it. But, why are you sending him your retirement information? I'm looking at these emails, and you're saying, I've sent in all the information, and the minute I get the check, I will contact you. Take a look at the or this is a message. This is in July. I have sent in all the information, and the minute I get a check, I will contact you. What were you referring to, sweetheart?
As far as taxes, he does taxes. So I had asked
When you
him,
get a check, you'll let him know?
how do I do the taxes? But again, my attorney.
No,
and
I need you, ma'am, stop. Read this message. Can you read it, or you want me to read it again to you?
I'm sorry,
I have
can't see
sent
it.
in all the information, and the minute I get the check, I will contact you. What check are you talking about? You're talking about the retirement check.
Yes, but that's not correct. On July the 4th, I had a party.
No, I don't want you to just talk. I want you to explain this text, because here's what I think. I think that you got the money from him by saying that you will cash in your retirement. And then you decided not to cash in your retirement and to go like this. And that's how it's looking. So you can't just repeat yourself over and over and say the same thing. He was giving me advices about tax, blah, 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 blah. You can't say that, because I'm looking with my eyeballs, and who am I going to believe, you or my lying eyes? I'm looking with my eyeballs at this. I have sent in all the information, and the minute I get the check, I will contact you. So, what else could you have meant other than that your plan was to cash in on your retirement, which you might have, in fact, done. And now you just don't want to pay back the money.
I didn't ask for the money. And as far as the
Can I
date
ask you
on that-
something, Mr. Stortz? When you
Yes.
loan somebody $5,000, does it occur to you to write down a promissory note?
Well, she said she would pay it back, and then she gave me that paper, and she gave me her word.
Yeah, we have a
So-
name for people like that. We call those people litigants. She gave you what piece of paper?
The retirement stuff.
No. See, what you want is a promissory note so that people can no longer argue in court that it was a gift because she's so sexy and delicious. You see? That's what you want. And
Right.
no, well, I mean, really, you're a fool. So you should not be loaning anybody else any money without saying, here, right, sign this promissory note. Oh, at a minimum, do you have any texts where she's asking you, can you loan me or hey, I'm going to send you the $5,000, it's a loan. Let's establish when you're going to pay it back. Send that email or text traffic back and forth, just something to show that something is a loan and not a gift. And, you know, you do have stuff about the retirement information, but this is, you know, I can read between the lines, I get it. But seriously, the next time, just don't loan out $5,000 because you like somebody and they don't like you enough back. According to him, he came to your house with flowers and candy. And what happened that day, Ms. Palace?
I wasn't home the day he says that he came by, but that's not uncommon. He stalked me and came by my house quite often, so.
And what happened? He says he found someone else there and he was shocked and appalled. What say you?
Did you find someone else there? No, I don't hear. I'm sorry, I don't understand that.
No, I'm sorry.
Didn't say that.
He says that he went and that he found another guy there and he was surprised. All that's nonsense because he shouldn't have been surprised?
He never came to my house when another guy was there.
Okay. But he would come to your house unannounced?
He has.
You
a
said he
couple
stalked
times,
you.
and
How did he stalk you?
I had to get the police involved because he kept driving by my house. He actually even went to my friend's house, stood outside of her garage, and listened to her on the phone because she'd talk in the garage and smoke her cigarettes. And he laughed because he thought it was me on the phone. He started harassing my friends. The police called him several times, and as soon as they would say Grove City Police, he'd hang up. So again, there was another place. I was at a concert, and that amazingly, my ex-husband knew that I was going to be there, and he shows up. I have the police say, "You need to leave me alone. You can't keep harassing me."
Who's harassing you now? Your ex-husband or him?
Well, I have a protection order against my ex-husband, but John was driving by my house at all hours. I have cameras. He was going to my friend's house. He was calling them, and I even have a message where I said, "You need to stop driving by." And again, Grove City.
All right.
Police-
That may be annoying, and you may find him annoying, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But my job here is to figure out whether I believe you when you say it was a gift. Number one, the amount doesn't look like a gift. This is an awful lot of money. So the circumstances don't tend to tell me that it's a gift. Number two, I see repeated texts where you say to him that you're sending him the retirement information. You must have realized that just before court, because all of a sudden now, oh, I'm sending him retirement information so that he can, so that he can give me advice. But I know that's a lie, because I see in one of those texts that you say, I sent in all of my paperwork and I'll let you know as soon as I get the check. That tells me that you are lying, Ms. Pallas. And I am ordering you to pay Mr. Storks the $5,175 because it was very clearly a loan and not a gift. That is my judgment.
Thank you.
So the plaintiff wins big time in this case. He's going to get $5,175 from Ms. Pallas, the defendant. Ma'am, let me ask you, what's your reaction to the judge's decision? What do you think?
Well, I'll whatever she says, but I disagree.
Well, you still say it was a gift, not a loan. The judge disagrees, and you're going to have to give him the money. I'm sorry, but that's the court's decision, and you got to live with it. Okay, Mr. Storks, let me ask you: do you feel better now? I mean, it sounds like you were smitten with her. How would you describe it? Were you or were you not?
Well, when we first met, all of us went out. We went back to her friend's house, and she wanted to do something in the car when they all got out. I didn't want to. So,
Yeah.
But no, she liked me a lot. That's why I say she got me this cup here. It says, love is brewing. She had sent me an email or text with her like a blouse or a couple of sexy things on, stuff like that. She's called me her stud, things like that all the time. So we'd always go out. She had asked me to go up to her bedroom a few times in the house. That was about it.
One other quick question. She said one of your favorite things to do is sit in the Walmart parking lot listening to the radio. Is that true? And if so, why?
Because what I do, I take care of my mother. She's 96. So in the evenings, I get out a little bit, go listen to the radio, listen to talk shows, and go to a few friends' house. And if they're not in, just to get out of the house. That's all I do. That's it.
Okay. Well, congratulations. You're going to get the money after all. And hopefully you have learned something from this. All right.
Yes.
Let's wrap up the case. Harvey, what do you think?
Okay, Doug, well, here's the thing. You have a contract. It can be an oral contract, it could be a written contract, but oftentimes the winner and the loser in a court case isn't determined by that agreement. It's determined by what is said outside the agreement. In this case, and in so many other cases, what you text back and forth is going to talk about what your true intent was and what the agreement was really about. So these text messages, honestly, they are make or break.
Hey, judges, what is the one piece of advice you would give to an aspiring law school student? Thanks, Anna.
Anna, the most important thing every aspiring law school student needs to understand is it's not like what you see on TV. The actual work day to day of being a lawyer is a little bit different. They always try to make things look a little better, a little sexier, a little more interesting when you're watching a movie or a TV show. And I would suggest, hey, go to work for a law firm, a state attorney or district attorney's office, a public defender's office, someplace in the legal realm where you can work either as a paralegal, as a law clerk, as an intern, as something, so you can get your feet wet and figure out, hey, do I really want to do this?
Yeah. And then you get a real taste of whether law school is something that you want to do.
And you did that. You were an intern at a state attorney's office while you were still in college, am I right?
While I was in college, I did college work study at the Dade County State Attorney's Office when Janet Reno, who would later become Attorney General under Clinton, she was the state attorney.
Right.
And I went to law school because I wanted to be a state attorney. I did not want to be a lawyer in a law firm or anything else. It was the one job that I really, really wanted.
Your mind was pretty much made up.
Yeah. But the point is, if you're going to invest 3 years of your life in that kind of money and debt, just make sure it's the job that you want. And I love it. Right. He loves it. My daughter loves it. Just make sure that you're going to love it.
That's for sure.
This is the plaintiff, Kevin August. He says he paid the defendant $1,000 for an apartment he wanted to rent. But the landlord denied his application because she said it was too small for a family of 4. Now the swindling defendant is giving him the royal runaround. So he's suing for just that. This is the defendant, Hossein. He says the plaintiff was indeed approved by the landlord, but then backed out because he found another place. The plaintiff changed his mind, and he's not entitled to his money back. Plain and simple. He's accused of ripping off a renter.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says that he paid the defendant $1,000 of hard-earned money for an apartment, but the guy ended up rejecting him. Now the defendant says that the plaintiff was 100% approved to move in, but changed his mind because he found a better place. It's the case of ripping off a renter.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Mr. Auguste, what happened here?
Well, I was looking for a 2-bedroom apartment in August of 2020, and it was during the pandemic, and it was very difficult to get one. So I did a search within 3 miles of where I was, and I found him. The defendant told me he had plenty of 2-bedroom apartments, so stop looking right away and come to him. He could help me. So that's what I did.
Okay.
I went to him and I told him what price range I was looking, and he told me no problems. So he asked me to put down a security deposit of $2,000, but I couldn't do it during business hours because I had just gotten a new job and I didn't want to take time off just to get that. So I went to the ATM after work and was able to pull out $1,000. And I explained to him, I told him, oh, that's perfectly fine. Just deposit it. So I came, I deposited. He took me to a place about a mile from his office with a very tiny apartment in the middle of the hallway. And there's a bus stop like 8 feet from the master bedroom. And so when the owner of the apartment called me and interviewed me, she told me, well, the apartment is too small for a family of 4. As per New York State law, everybody needs a certain amount of square feet in the apartment, something like that, she said. So I asked him if he had any more apartments, 2-bedroom, and he said, oh, no, that's perfectly, I have plenty more, but that's perfect for your family. And then that's when she told me, I wasn't qualified. So then I called him and I asked
That you
him for a
weren't
report.
qualified?
I was not qualified because of the size of the family.
Do you have any proof that the landlord said you were not qualified?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, let me ask you, Mr. Hossein, what's going on here? Are you a realtor?
I'm a real estate broker.
How were you expecting to get paid by Mr. Auguste if things had worked out? Do you get paid by the seller or by the landlord?
We get paid by the renter.
By the renter.
We get paid.
Oh, so
That's correct.
okay, you get paid by the renter. And what is your fee?
1 month. 1 month's brokerage fee.
Okay, so, and he was looking at apartments in what range?
16 to 18.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If he's supposed to pay you, can you show me a contract where the terms and conditions of your services that you're rendering to him are spelled out so that I can see that you're entitled to keep the money?
Yeah, it's all over the office. It's
May
all
I
in
see
the
the-
application.
No, I'm not in your office. Can I see the contract he signed? Do you have a contract that he signed about the terms and conditions of how you get paid?
No, I do not.
Why not? Do you not do contracts?
I don't have that specific paperwork with me. I can give it to you in a few minutes. If you give me a few minutes, I can have it.
Did you sign a document, Mr. Auguste?
No, I didn't.
Okay, let's find the document, Mr. Hossein.
Okay, I need a few minutes to get the document. Is there anything else you need?
Is there anything else you'd like to provide as evidence for entitlement to keep the guy's money? While you're looking for the document, look for anything else you think will help your case.
Okay. I'll be right back in a moment. We're back.
Okay.
The document says that on approval of the application, the brokerage fee is due and
Do
it's
me a favor.
non-refundable.
Stop. I need the document. Will you take a picture of it and email it to me? Did he sign that document, sir?
He did not.
Oh, maybe that's why if he didn't sign it, then you don't have a contract. So he gives you the money and he thinks it's for, so you never had him sign a contract, but you have contracts because I just waited for you to go find a spare one. Now, tell me why you didn't have him sign a contract.
Because when they come into the office, sometimes they're busy. They just go right out to look at the properties. And then after that,
I'm sorry. Why don't? That's ridiculous. You're a business person. I have these cases all the time, and the broker always gets a signed contract. So I think that this is not something you can blame on someone else. It's your business. You should be getting a signed contract. Now, according to you, signs are all over your office that say deposits are non-refundable. But show me the signs that are all over your office that say deposits are non-refundable.
It's on the application.
What application? The one he never saw because he didn't sign it?
I have to. I have to pull this file. I have some of this file. I don't have the whole file. I can email it to you.
Yeah, I don't care. No, I'm not interested. I'm in the middle of a trial. You are being sued to return the money. You want to prove to me that you have a right to it, and you are unable to do so. Now, you tell me verbally, since you can't prove to me that there's a contract where he agreed for you to keep the money if he got accepted somewhere, now just prove to me verbally what you think the facts of this case are. You feel that you're entitled to the money. Why?
Okay, because when someone comes into our real estate office, our brokerage office, they are told that if they get accepted, we earn our fee, the landlord gets their month's rent and the month's security.
Okay, so did this landlord get the money that this gentleman gave you?
He didn't give the month's rent. He did not give the security. He left a deposit. Deposit was to hold the apartment for him.
My question: the money.
Sure.
Where did the money go that the plaintiff gave you? Where did it go? In your pocket?
No, it went to the landlord.
Okay. Do you have proof that it went to the landlord?
Yes, we do. But we have to pull the files and we have to pull the bank.
Are you kidding me? You're in court right now. What do you think this is about? How could you not have a single document on you? Can you want me to wait again? Are you able to? I'm not going to sit here over and over and watch you roam your building to find the documents. You're being sued over this. How do you not have it?
We have millions. We have so much documents that.
How many millions of cases are you getting sued on?
No, I'm not saying. No, we've never been sued. Never.
Okay, so I would think that I make you nervous enough that maybe you'd have your files on you when we're doing the trial. Mr. August, did you contact the landlord and ask them whether they had received any money?
Yes, I did. And the landlord said that no, the landlord didn't receive any money from Mr. Hussein.
Interesting. Okay. And let me ask you this. What is the day you gave him the $1,000? What date?
It was August 28th, 2020.
And then I see an email from you on August 29th.
Yes.
That says, this is Kevin. I viewed the 1A apartment on the first floor yesterday. I would like to withdraw my application. We found an apartment in the Bronx today. 1A is too small for four people, as per the building manager. I would like to get my refund. Now, when you get this, Mr. Hossein, what is it you do? Do you return the guy's money?
Well, what we do is we let him know it's approved, and he held the apartment on the market for about 2 weeks, and he's not entitled to his money back.
Show me, Mr. Hossein, prove to me he was approved.
I don't have an approval. I can get it from the landlord.
No,
I don't have.
You needed it now
I don't
at
have
trial.
a file.
I understand. It's okay. It's fine.
I don't have a file in front of me.
I should. Trial. But then you should have.
I don't have a file. I know that.
Yeah, you know why you don't have it? Because it didn't happen. I gave you 5 minutes to turn around and go and get his signed contract, and then you brought out a spare contract. There was no signed contract, okay? And now you're telling me that you need to develop the evidence that you needed in order to defend yourself, and I'm telling you, no. The time to do that.
I have the whole evidence, but I don't have the time to do it because I have to look through a whole bunch of files. He filled out an application completely. He filled it out with the application. He filled it out with the documents.
Let me tell you what you don't tell a person. I don't have time to find documents for you, Judge. It's just a ridiculous thing to say, okay? You had time, you chose to use your time differently, which is perfectly fine. Now, when this man asked for his money back, what you did was write him a check for $500, correct, Mr. Hossein?
That's correct.
Why did you write him a check for $500 if you want me to believe that the $1,000 went to the landlord? Are you in the business of reaching into your own pocket and giving a guy money to make a problem go away? So, Mr. Hossein, along with everything else that you say, what the last statement you just said that you stopped payment on it is false. Because what actually happened, according to his bank, is that you didn't have sufficient funds to cover the $500.
There was money in the account.
It says, oh, but hey, the bank says that the reason for the returned, the check is that it was made out of rubber.
Welcome back to the People's Court. The plaintiff is saying he's gotten the royal runaround by the agent for the landlord. He says he put $1,000 down for an apartment and never got his money back, never got the apartment. The defendant saying he could have gotten the apartment, he just changed his mind. Let's go back into the courtroom.
We were going to give it back to the landlord was going to refund it to him.
Okay, so then why were you only going to give him $500? Because you felt that you had earned the other $500?
Because the landlord is giving him $500 back, and we earned $500 because he canceled out of the contract. I have the whole contract because the whole file was delivered.
Yeah, all I need you to do is prove to me that he was accepted.
Right, and I can do that, but I don't have a file because I didn't look for the file. I'm very sorry.
So am I. Now, he sends you a $500 check, correct, Mr. Auguste? And
That's
what
correct.
happens with the $500 check?
I deposited the $500 into my checking account, and 3 days later, it bounced.
It did not bounce.
My financial institution
It did
charged
not
me $12.
No. Wait. I want to hear what did you just say, Mr. Hossein? It didn't bounce?
No, we stopped it because we felt that we were going to get it back from the landlord. That's all.
Okay, and according
The landlord
to you,
decided to refund everything.
I'm not understanding. Did you stop payment on this check, Mr. Hossein? Yes or no?
We stopped the payment and the check because the landlord decided to refund all the money and not to have any issues with this.
Well, then why would you stop payment on the check? You should be writing a second check.
Right. We did not want to be, once she wanted to refund the money, we didn't want to be responsible for it anymore because he was getting the money back from, okay.
He was getting the money directly from the landlord?
She was going to give it back to us, to give it back to him. He decided to sue us. So we were going to give him back all his money.
Stop. Right. But you didn't, right? Because if you did, I wouldn't be here, right? You never gave him back his money. In fact, he didn't even get the $500. Do you have your bank documents, Mr. Auguste, so that I can see what your bank told you was the reason for?
Yes, I do.
I got it. So, Mr. Hossein, along with everything else that you say, what the last statement you just said that you stopped payment on it is false. Because what actually happened, according to his bank, is that you didn't have sufficient funds to cover the $500.
There was money in the account.
You see where it says, oh, but hey, the bank says that the reason for the returned, the check is that it was made out of rubber. Okay? So here we go. You are not going to keep a stinking penny of this man's money. Did you get charged for that bounce check, sir? Yes, you got charged $12. So
Yes.
I am going to order the defendant to pay you. So you're out the whole $1,000 right now. You've got nothing, right?
Nothing.
Well, I am entering a judgment in your favor in the amount of $1,000 plus the $12 return service fee plus your court costs plus prejudgment statutory interest since August of last year. So you won, and you won big, okay?
Thank
Verdict
you,
for the
Your Honor.
plaintiff.
So, as the judge put it, the plaintiff just won big on this case. Mr. Hossan, this was not a good day for you in court. You really weren't prepared at all, were you?
Absolutely not. I wasn't prepared because I had millions of files to go through. I didn't go through my files.
Yeah, well, you just weren't ready. By the way, now you've got to give him $1,000 plus interest, plus court costs, plus the fee for the check that bounced. As the judge said, your check was made of rubber. What do you think about that? What do you have to say about that?
It's terrible because we stopped the check. The landlord was refunding the money. So, but that's fine. Whatever the judgment is, we will pay it. We will pay all the money back with the interest and everything. That's perfect. That's good. I'm so happy that he won the case.
You're happy. Good for you.
Yes,
that's
I'm very
amazing.
happy
All right.
he won the case. It's a lot of work.
You know,
for
you
nothing.
could have avoided this by giving him his money back. You could have given him his money back
Right, but
and been happy
it's a
with
lot
that
of
too.
work. We go through a lot of work with these clients for weeks and weeks and weeks trying to find them an apartment, trying to find them something. They find something and they want back all their money. They don't want to pay for one dime of service. And that's where the issues are.
All right. Sorry, but it wasn't your day today. Okay. Thank you very much. Mr. August, I would assume you feel pretty good right now. Vindicated. Would that be the right way to put it?
That's correct. I feel really good right now.
Okay. Well, congratulations. Sorry I had to go through all of this mess. I don't know. You learn anything from this?
Next time I'll be more careful before I throw my money out anywhere. I'll just be more careful about it.
Well, I think that's a good lesson to learn. All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, Harvey.
Okay, Doug, we have seen this a bunch of times in the People's Court over the years where somebody puts money down in an apartment and for whatever reason they don't move in, they want to get their money back. The landlord says no, the tenant sues. Well, here's the situation. In this case, the reason the plaintiff won is because there was no proof that the landlord ultimately said, yes, you can move in. Had that been the case, the plaintiff would have lost. But that wasn't the case. If the landlord is absolutely willing to let you move in, even if it's, an hour after you put the deposit down and you change your mind, a deal is a deal is a deal. And if you've put the deposit down and made that deal and simply changed your mind, it doesn't matter you did it quickly, you're going to lose that lawsuit.
Hey, judges, do you read each other's emails and texts? Thanks, Clyde.
Yeah. Let me take this one.
All right, go ahead.
Yes. We have had the same password
Yeah,
our whole lives.
we have. Right.
As far as I am concerned, there are no secrets.
Right.
Do you feel the same way? We had the
Yeah.
same email for 20 years.
Right, and it's good because I don't even feel the need to look at your stuff because I know I can, whatever the hell I want to.
Yeah, there's
And,
no secrecy. I mean,
right, there really isn't. And the other thing is with the apps that are on your phones, like the Find My iPhone gadget, it's like a LoJack. So not only can you see what the hell I'm up to, you can see where I'm up to.
Oh, yeah,
with
exactly.
Find My iPhone.
That helped me raise my children
Right.
and keep my marriage.
Exactly.
But it
we all
wasn't
know where
even
everybody is.
it wasn't even a suspicious thing. With the kids, I was always checking up on them. But
Right.
John just texted me he's on his way home. Should I put the chicken on? And then I see, no, he's not. He's
on the
still on the
15th
golf
hole,
course. He's
whatever.
still on.
I mean, there can be misunderstandings. Like I used to get a ton of text messages from Gail, and one day
Right.
you looked at that and you're like,
Who's Gail?
And, like, he happens to be
Right.
a golf pro who was giving me some advice.
Right.
And I took a couple lessons from. So, but
Yeah, but I mean, look, everybody's entitled to their privacy, and it's not. I don't think it's a healthy relationship to constantly be checking up on each other. But
it's good to know
I
you
have,
can
yeah,
if you have to.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
They said, is it Louis Brandeis, the Supreme Court Justice, who said sunlight is the best disinfectant, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm antiseptic in my cheeks because the sun is shining on that stuff.